Hello and welcome to our first ACMM community interview. I'm Lauren Howe and I'm a coach at ACMM and I also work in our marketing and social media team. Today I have the pleasure of interviewing ACMM graduate Samantha Wynn, also known as Sammy. Sammy is a mindfulness and mindset coach who is dedicated to helping others feel more empowered and fulfilled through meditation, mindfulness and mastering their mindset. She's a mum of two and wife to Brad and a fur mum to Diesel. She lives in Engadine in the Sutherland Shire of New South Wales. Thank you for joining me today, Sammy.
Oh, my pleasure. Thanks for having me. I'm so excited.
Hey, well, you're the first cab off the rank video style. So, I'm overjoyed to get to do this with you. So to start, Sammy, I would love to ask you some questions. And the first thing that comes to mind is what attracted you to becoming a meditation teacher and studying with ACMM?
Well, that is a bit of a journey to answer that question. So for me, I guess, meditation's kind of always been a part of my life from a really young age, actually. Even when I was in my mum's tummy, she started her meditation practice. So I was in her tummy when she started learning to meditate, which is just incredible. And then the earliest memories I have is from like 7 or 8, meditating with my mum, and well, at least trying to at that age. So it's kind of ebbed and flowed throughout my life. But about 2 years ago, I tragically lost my dad, which was such a horrific time. And his passing was completely unexpected, so out of the blue. And in that time, I found myself turning to my practice really, really deeply in that experience. And, about 2 years prior to that, I remember having a conversation with my mum and saying, I need to do something in my life. There's something I'm feeling called to do. I didn't know what that looked like then. And I was just, doing my day job. I was happy, but I had this really deep calling that I needed to give back, to the community and the world. And so, went through life and then unfortunately, lost my dad. And it was in that moment that I realized how just short and fragile life is, and I was no longer prepared to kind of put my passions aside, and I was ready to take the leap. And as I said, I turned to my practice so deeply to get me through that, and I knew that this is how I could help other people, how I could be there for them in their time of need, or really any time in their life. So I decided to start kind of keeping a log of my journey. And as I was doing that, I started talking to courses, and ACMM came up. I wanted something that was going to be flexible in my life. So I loved the fact that I could do it online, at my own pace. But what I really loved the most is that I would have a dedicated coach that I would work with one-on-one, because I felt that I knew it was going to be a really big personal journey as well as a professional journey. And I really valued that I would have a coach with me through that process. So that's why I chose ACMM.
Thank you for sharing that, Sammy. And it sounds like this meditation seed was planted from the very beginning for you.
Yes.
And you also, at quite a pivotal point in your life, like you said, with your dad passing, the practice really sounds like it was able to come in and support you during that really challenging time, I imagine. Yeah.
Absolutely. It was by far the biggest thing that got me through the grief, and still supports me in my grief. It's an ongoing journey, but it was by far my confidant through that process.
Beautiful to hear, Sammy, and very powerful and impactful as I listened to you share that. You also touched on why you were drawn to ACMM, and you identified, having that personal coach to take you along on the journey as you complete your certification with us. I'd love to know a little bit more about what that was like for you as you went through the course.
Yeah, sure. It was so great. As I said, like I knew it was going to be a really big personal journey as well as professional. And to have someone who is that same familiar face, obviously when you do your electives, you have different coaches, but for the whole core coursework, to have that same coach guiding you, supporting your familiar face, they also get to know you and get to know your style. It was really lovely, and I just felt so supported, and I was still pretty raw really when I started my journey because it was so close. It was only, I think, about 6 months after I lost Dad. So I was really raw, and, my coach I felt held. I felt, supported, and I just felt that, I was never alone, and I think that's the biggest thing. Sometimes with online learning, it can feel a little bit isolating, and you can feel like you're doing it on your own. But I never felt that because I knew that my coach was an email away, a call away. I could book in extra coaching sessions if I needed to. And just to have that dedicated coach was wonderful.
Sounds like a beautiful relationship that you developed with them along that way. And you really said it, it can be hard running an online course and ensuring that students feel connected. And that's something that I know we often hear time and time again is that there is this sense of community and being held and seen and not alone as you go through that journey. So that's wonderful to hear that your experience was that. Yeah, lovely. And you mentioned some of the benefits of meditation for you in the past and how they've helped you through the passing of your dad. How does meditation now impact you today? And, how do you see how do you see the benefits of it for you where you are in life at the moment?
Yeah, where do I start? I mean, I just could talk forever about meditation. Obviously, it's something I'm so passionate about. It honestly touches every single part of my life. It touches my daily routine. It touches my health and well-being. It touches my parenting. It touches my relationships, out in the community, the way that I talk to people, the way that I hold myself and interact with people. So, it's all that. For me, it's not just kind of, that 30 minutes, practice that I fit in the day. It's actually everything else that ripples out from that. And I don't know. Where do you want me to start? That's kind of like, it touches every single part of my life in the most profound and beautiful ways.
Thank you for sharing that, Sammy. And I can really resonate with that. There's a practice on the cushion, but it's how we are in life and how it impacts our relationship with self and others and community. And so I think that is sort of one of the most pivotal, powerful things about a meditation practice is how transformational it can be in that space.
Absolutely. And, it just becomes, well, for me personally, it's just mindfulness is a way of life. It's a way that I do things in my day. So meditation's part of that mindfulness practice and a huge part of it, but it's being mindful and present in the way that I go throughout my day. And as I said, the way that I communicate and, talk to my children and things like that. So it's like the beautiful, center of a sunflower. That's your kind of meditation practice, and all the petals on the outside is, the rest of your life and how it can impact all those areas in your life, which is just, really, really beautiful.
That visual is amazing. It's perfect. I love that. I'm going to remember that. Thank you for sharing that. I know you have a meditation business and that you work with other people. So I'd love to know more about what you do, how you use meditation when working with your clients.
Yeah, sure. So as I said earlier, when I started my studies, I actually started to share my journey through social media, so Instagram. So I had kind of people following me, throughout the journey. And then towards the end of last year, I started my business, and I started it by teaching at a local yoga studio where I do my personal practice. And I started running introduction to meditation courses there, so 6-week courses to help people learn to meditate and to understand meditation. And honestly, it was just so needed in the community, and it just snowballed. So from there, I've actually now got my own little studio where I am right now. This is the background here on my own. So what I do is I teach weekly group classes and also introduction to meditation courses. And I also run children's mindfulness classes. So one of my electives was the Parents and Children's Mindfulness elective. And I cannot tell you how much joy this brings to my life. Mindfulness for children is beyond. Like, I can't even, it's just so beautiful and fun, and kids are so imaginative and playful. And yeah, so a lot of my focus is I run mum and mini mindfulness classes. So parent and child together, helping them connect and enjoy mindfulness together, which is really beautiful. And I'm just about to start a children's mindfulness 10-week program as well in term 4. If we're all out of lockdown, I'll be doing that. And I also run a monthly women's circle just to support the women in my community as well.
Wow, Sammy, you've got such a range of offerings that you do to really, like I said, support your community. And I could just see you really light up when talking, especially about the children's mindfulness and meditation courses. Yeah.
They are, once again, something I can't even put into words. Children are just so beautiful, as I said, and playful, and their imaginations, and they can go on the journey with you when you're guiding them through that meditation. You can see them go on that journey, and just the impact, that you can have on that, younger generation, and, how amazing to have a generation of children that have mindfulness as part of their life. Like, can you imagine the adults they're going to be? It's just, I adore it. It's by far my favorite thing that I do in my business, by far.
I'm really thinking about that world, what that looks like for us in our future, and how promising and exciting that sounds to know that there's this generation of children with access to meditation and mindfulness.
Absolutely. And they're so engaged with it. They really are. They all just love it, and can't wait to get back to class. And I love seeing their enthusiasm, which is beautiful.
Amazing. And how has, I know, I'm talking to you at the moment during COVID and New South Wales lockdown where you are, how has that changed the way that you run your business and offer your services to people?
Yeah, it has been challenging because, as you know, meditation is such a beautiful way to connect with people. So sometimes it's a little bit hard to do that online, but I have still been offering things online. So I do still do a weekly children's mindfulness class online, which has been really fun. Kids have been really engaged, and so that's been great. And then I've also been doing just a community meditation weekly that anyone can drop into if they just need to get out of their mind. So I've definitely been trying to still offer those services because they're so needed right now. And, I don't want people to not be able to access that help that they need right now. So I am online, but obviously can't wait to get back face to face, which is, just such a beautiful experience.
Absolutely. That's beautiful that you're still making your offerings available to people and using, we're fortunate enough to have technology so we can still make our meditation classes and workshops available to people. But I really understand that feeling of that connection in person and how wonderful that is too. So I have my fingers crossed that will happen sooner rather than later for you.
I know. I hope so.
Absolutely. And something else I'd love to ask you, Sammy, is what would you say to someone who is thinking about becoming a meditation teacher and they're starting to question whether that's the path for them? Do you have any advice for that person?
I would say if there's a little seed in there, honor that little voice. I'm so glad that I did. So if there's something inside you that is just calling you to do this, even if it's just the smallest little thought, just follow it, because, you know, they always say you don't need to see the whole staircase, just take the first step. And it honestly, if nothing else, it will change your life personally, and it's such a beautiful journey, and everything you learn, you'll be able to apply in, as I said before, all aspects of your life. So yeah, if you want to do it, go for it. You'll be supported, not just by your coach, but other students as well. So there's opportunities for buddy work. You will really be supported, and everybody can do this course. So don't have any shadow of a doubt. You can do it. And I have no doubt that you would absolutely love the experience.
Oh, thank you for sharing that, Sammy. It excites me as I listen to you, and I have like these goosebumps in my body, because it's just this beautiful resonance in what you're saying. And I've been through the course myself, and I can totally, like, everything you're saying. I'm like, yes, it's that personal journey, as well as, you know, the professional journey as for people too. So I think that's such an important aspect of what we offer at ACMM.
Absolutely. And I think being open to that, you know, going into it, well, I know I certainly was. I went into that course knowing that this was going to expand me as a person. And I think, you know, having that, going into the course knowing that this is going to help you grow as a person is just a really beautiful way to go into something that is just, yeah, it's just amazing.
Thank you for sharing and taking the time to talk to me today, Sammy. I'm so grateful and, like I said, very energized by this amazing conversation with you.
My pleasure. Yes, I get I talk a lot with my hands and I get excited.
I love it, and I'm the same. I often am, you know, my hand gestures, you know, you can only see a part of me, but I really I love it. How can people find out more about you? Where can they go if they want to find out about the offerings that you have?
Yeah, sure. So the best place, well, you can go to Instagram. So it's @stillwithsammy. Or my website, which is the same name, so stillwithsammy.com.au. So you can go to either of those to see my services. Instagram, I like to just post hints and tips and a bit of support. So if it's something you're curious about, you can start there. And yeah, I would love to hear from you. Reach out, and yeah, always here with an open ear, heart and mind.
Thank you, Sammy. That's beautiful. And at a time like this, I know there's many people who will just benefit from connecting with you and the lovely offerings that you have through meditation. Like I said, thank you for taking the time to connect today.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.